Hello and welcome to another Jamie Tries Cooking video. This kitchen novice is going to make, for the first time, shakshuka. As the title implies, I have never done this recipe before. The version I shall be having a go at today is one taken from the James May O cookbook. This is the third recipe that I have done from that book so far. It is fair to say that there are different versions of this. The one that you might be familiar with will differ perhaps. Do let me know the different variations and maybe other things that I can try in the future in regards to shakshuka. So the first thing that we shall do is prepare our ingredients. So one of which is an onion, so I'm just going to cut that off like that, just so that we can slice and dice them in a moment. So we're going to take the skin off. Now this is always like peeling off paper, and I'm well aware from previous videos that I always end up crying at this. I'm not feeling that right now, but we'll wait and see when we get to the chopping end of things. So I'm going to have a go at dicing this onion. My technique might not be entirely safe, but I feel like this is how I've learned to do it in the past. It's not something that I've particularly done before. And I have to watch my fingers because I have chopped them in the past accidentally. So now the onions have been diced. Not perfect. Maybe I need one of those gadgets or something for future. Something I will get better at, I'm sure. Now, let's cut the pepper. Something else I haven't done before. So let's just go to there. Oh, that cut much easier than I thought it was going to. Mainly because I forgot that it's hollow in the middle, like there's nothing in it. I mean, if you look at that, yeah, you got your seeds in there, but there's nothing here, so I always forget that, I think. So I'm supposed to de-seed this, so I will do that, and then it will be time to start putting things in here, in the pan. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. Got to dice these now. I'm going to try not to do that too much, but this is much easier to cut than the onion. So we're going to go one way, like that, and we're going to try and keep this in, and then dice them like that, and not cut my finger. I think my finger met with the blade for a moment. Try and be careful if you're trying this. So that's one. I'll do the rest of these, and then we will put something in the pan. I've now chopped and diced both of these. Now it's time for the thing I've become quite familiar with, which is just getting some oil and putting that in there. I'll put the oven on now, heat this through, and then the magic happens. So I've allowed the oil to heat up a bit. So now we put in our peppers and onions, like that. And now we're supposed to sweat them for a few minutes. So while these are cooking in here, I'm just moving them around the pan, as you can see. And I'm getting this lovely sizzling, which is very pleasing to me. And it's already looking pretty colourful, and that's with about 80% of the ingredients not yet part of this mixture. Sorry, just talking with the spoon there. I've been cooking the onions and pepper for around 5 minutes, and now it's time to start putting all the spices and the garlic in. I'll explain the garlic in a moment. Firstly, we want half a teaspoon of mild chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and lastly, with these, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. So the recipe calls for 2 garlic cloves, but I'm going to go for garlic paste, so about 2 teaspoons of that should equal the desired amount. There we are. So now all those things are in there. Let's give this a good mix around. I am slightly concerned I might have put too much chili in there, but this is a learning process, certainly. So we're just cooking this for a couple of minutes more. Now let's add these peeled plum tomatoes in tomato juice. Let's get my pouring technique. Tiny bit of splashage, but I think we're okay. Let's just mix this around a little bit. And we're supposed to squash these down. So I'm just going to do that. I assume it's like that. These are quite tough. I've just added some salt and pepper to taste. Well, I've just put salt and pepper in there basically. That's what the thing said though, to taste. Not quite at that level. Now it says to leave this here for about 15 minutes. Although I may question that because it already looks pretty done, but I'm going to leave it for 5 to 10 minutes at least. This has been cooking for a while now, and now it's time to put the eggs in to this. Now normally you'd crack them in the pan, but since you've seen me do that before, and since I might get shell in it, you know, I'm not entirely confident, I've just cracked them into these containers, and now we're just going to make some gaps to put the eggs in, like that. And then we're going to try and pour this into there. That's one egg. Now this one I actually broke, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. The third egg, pour that into there. Maybe the holes aren't big enough, but I'm sure I will learn from this experience. Now after this, I've got to put the lid on and allow them to cook for a few minutes. To be honest, I have lost track on how long this has been on. Around 8 to 10 minutes gently. So we're just going to take this off. And I've turned the oven off already. And we're just going to get some coriander. And we're going to try and just chop it nice and small over the top, like that, just to give it a little bit of colour. Not doing it perfectly, but it's certainly doing its job, I think. Now the dish is ready to eat. The book suggests that it's eaten out of the pan, so we don't have any awkward serving moments in this video. Looking over the pan, it's a sea of colour, isn't it, on here? I can't wait to try it. So It does suggest flat bread or toast fingers. I've just got some bread here which I'm going to put in there, just a roll. We're going to dip it into the egg, I think. I think we might be slightly overdone, but that's my thing more than anything. So that's something to work on for the future. Let's try some of the tomato like sauce. That's really flavourful, that. Really flavourful. And I'm just going to take a spoonful. I don't think it would be too hot. I was wrong. So you've got that definite spice from the chilli. All the spices in there working to give you quite a warming thing. I was quite concerned actually that it would have cooled down by now because we've just kind of been simmering it. But that is still hot in many different senses of the word, but not too hot actually. And just nice to have the coriander, or the cilantro as it's called in some cases, in there just to add a bit extra. I look forward to eating the rest of this now with my family. Please do click a thumbs up on this video, subscribe for more food videos. Do try it yourself, I highly recommend it. James's book has a very high rate of success, it seems. Few things that you have to work out yourself, but as with everything, I think that's just what cooking is, isn't it? Thank you for watching. See you again next time.